All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we bring you back-to-back update and information as see the hot. In case it's your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, you kindly go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news go to drop, you go be the first. We'll collect them. Make we go to the news proper as the hot. It don't share. Ohanezendigbo appealed to Kanu's statement that he would not seek his release from the federal government and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Ohanezendigbo dey play o. My people, wonderful Biafrans, all of us of freedom all over the world. You people knew of what NNAMDI Kanu said by himself that he will not beg the Nigerian government for his release, and his reason being that the appellate court has discharged and acquitted him and quashed all charges that were filed against him. And after the appeal court did that, Malami, who was the Attorney General of the Federation then, took the matter to the Supreme Court, filing a stay of execution of that particular judgment. And up to today, the Supreme Court have not come up with the judgment that has been filed by the federal government of Nigeria in order to be able to look at their reasons. And up to then, Kanu also has been filing for his release. And many people has been begging the Ohanezendigbo, some group, even the Southeast governors, but Kanu has come out openly and said that he himself is not going to beg the Nigerian government to release him based on that he knows he's right and the court has quashed all charges against him. And I believe that, there was a time Mazen Nnamdi kind of filed for some damages that the government is going to pay him for damages. And I think that the reason why he's doing this is that he's insisting on that. I don't think it's good to play with a man that knows is right. Meanwhile, before we go to that point, let's go to what the Ohanezendigbo is saying. Ohanezendigbo believes that there are ongoing efforts by the Northerners and Dokubo to pressure the federal government not to accept the request for Kanu's release. Isi Guzoro maintained that the appeal court pronouncement over Kanu release remains sacrosanct and that the Supreme Court should fix a date for the hearing of the appeal filed by the government against Kanu's release. Ohanezendigbo, the foremost Igbo socio-cultural group, has urged northern authorities and former militant leader Asari Dokubo to pardon the pro-Biafran agitator Nnamdi Kanu and campaign for his release. In response to Kanu's declaration that he will never beg the federal government and President Bola Tinubu for his freedom, Ohaneze made the request. Kanu said that if he begged for his release, it would be an insult to the affectionate memories of Pa Mbazulike Amaechi, who passed away in 2022 at the age of 91. Recall that when the appeal court ordered the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, a delegation of Igbo elders asked for his release. However, Ohaneze believed that there are ongoing efforts by Northerners and Dokubo to pressure the government not to accept the request for Kanu's release. A statement by Ohaneze's functional Secretary General Okechukwu Isiguzoro said Kanu's pronouncement was in order and that people should stop begging for his release. Isiguzoro maintained that the appeal court pronouncement over Kanu's release remains sacrosanct and that the Supreme Court should fix a date for the hearing of the appeal filed by the government against Kanu's release. The organization also called on the federal government to obey the rule of law and release Kanu unconditionally, as he has been in detention for over the years without adherence to court orders. The statement reads, Ohanezendigbo, the Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, is believed to have played a significant role in the earlier release of Nnamdi Kanu in 2017, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. The organization is stated to have sent a delegation to the north and prominent Nigerians to pacify them and seek their support for Kanu's release. This time around, Ohanezendigbo is likely to adapt to a similar strategy, focusing on underground networking with critical stakeholders and appealing to those who were aggrieved by Kanu's broadcasts in the past. The organization may also seek the assistance of Igbo billionaires, business moguls, and the leadership of the movement of the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, MASOB, who played a significant role in the previous release of Kanu in 2017. However, the current situation is more challenging due to the lack of diplomatic underground war and the need to pacify some friends of the government, especially some northern leadership and group and Asari Dokubo, a former Niger Delta militant. The violent sit-at-home protests have also not brought any desired outcome, leading Igbos into change tactics in their effort to secure Kanu's release. My people, una don't see as it happen. But the thing is that the man that the federal government, the Ohanezendigbo is begging for, the man that Wazulike also is begging for, has said that he does not want anybody to plead for his release, that he does not want, that he will never beg the federal government, neither is he going to beg Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the current president of Nigeria. And for me, looking at the matter from, from a logical point of view, I believe that the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has decided not to beg Tinubu is because he knows that the appellate court has discharged and acquitted him. And on that note, he knows that since after the discharge and acquittal of the appellate court, he was supposed to be released. Now, the Attorney General of the Federation filed a stay of execution on that judgment. And up until now, they have not come up with the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be detained. Now, I think that Nnamdi Kanu, being a wise man, has looked at the brighter side of this case, the benefit he is going to also get from this case, and the benefits that the indigenous people of Biafra themselves are also going to get from this case, and also the heroic welcome when he will be released, as a result of, not because the Ohanezendigbo has begged the federal government or has begged Tinubu, but because the judiciary has taken the rightful position of the judgment. Because you know that in every country, of course, you know that Nigeria is running a presidential system of government which comprises of the executive, legislature, and the judiciary. Now, you know that these three arms of government are there for checks and balances, that when the executive take a decision and it does not go well with the nation, the legislature will counter it. And if the legislature is not able to do anything, the judiciary will come in. So same thing happens to the legislature when the judiciary, when the legislature is not taking the right decision. But looking at also what is happening in Nigeria, it looks as if that water has entered into the Opiubogoro. You know that legislature themselves, it seems as if they don't even have a power of their own. Because these three arms of the government are meant to be separate. They are not meant to be controlled by each other. They are government on their own. And that is the only way they will do the works of checks and balances in the government of a nation. But whereby the legislature is manipulated by the executive, and also the judiciary also is manipulated by the executive, they also all follow the executive order due to one appointment or the other. You find out that the legislature will not be able to carry out duties on its own. the executive will not be able to carry out duties on its own, because the person in the office of the legislature is the man that the president wants, and the person in the office of the judiciary is the man that the president wants. Now, tell me how a nation like this is going to move forward. Rather, they will continue to move backward. Meanwhile, I'll be winding down the curtain here. And if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news is entering, you'll be the first to take it. Thank you for listening. God bless you.